it's amazing. I'm the reason everybody fired up this evening.
Hello, welcome back to another Koalaty Kontrol podcast. I'm Michael, and joining me is...
Borge, Forrest, whatever you want to call me.
That sounds good. And we're back with Kanye West and Eminem Part 2, some of their later albums.
Yep, we're taking it home to their last albums released in 2013, 2014. I think they both released in 2014, maybe 2013. I think
Both Yeezus and Marshall Mathers LP2 came out in late 2013.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're going right on through to 2013 with their latest releases.
That's kind of weird to say since it's 2015.
It is 2015.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Eminem's releasing. I mean, Eminem was on the Slaughterhouse mixtape, but we don't need to do the Slaughterhouse mixtape because it's not just Eminem. It's his entire record label, and it's just like here's what my record label has to offer dealy. So
yeah. So we are starting with Kanye West again. We're going to start with 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah. So 808s and Heartbreak is a weird album for him.
Yeah, it was coming off Graduation, which was, I think, not as well received as he was thinking.
Graduation wasn't?
Yeah.
I thought Graduation was pretty well received, but it wasn't. Maybe it was like, I don't know. I don't know if people liked it as well as Late Registration and College Dropout. But anyway, 808 and Heartbreak is kind of where people started to not like Kanye West as much, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because it's not a bad album.
No, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Don't get me wrong. It's not. I think that he has a lot more clever stuff in his earlier shit, but I don't think 808 and Heartbreak's bad at all.
No, I think this is around the time I started actually getting into hip hop. So I heard stuff like Gold Digger, Love Lockdown, Heartless. I think I was just introduced to Kanye at that time. So this is about where I came in.
Yeah, and this is some of the best use of auto-tune I've ever heard.
Besides T-Pain.
T-Pain uses it to, funny effect. T-Pain does some funny shit with auto-tune, but I think, this sounds really good.
Yeah. What were some of the songs you liked off of this?
My favorite songs off this are Welcome to Heartbreak, Love Lockdown, and actually, surprisingly, See You in My Nightmares with Lil Wayne.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that song.
I did like that. I don't know. I don't know why I like that song, because I usually don't like Lil Wayne, but...
Usually, yeah. I also listened to Welcome to Heartbreak. I liked Heartless. Love Lockdown. Coldest Winter was okay. It was, as you would say, it was okay.
Yeah, it was... Michael's making fun of me because we were talking about songs earlier because he didn't listen to Watch the Throne, which is his fault, and
I
now...
can just put in that audio at the end.
Okay.
It'll go in there somewhere.
Yeah, and I was reading my notes off, and one of them just said it was okay for a song.
Glorious writing. Yeah, what you're saying about the autotune, yeah, I agree. Was this when autotune was really starting to get, I don't know, quote unquote popular, and he just did it the best?
This was at the peak of the popularity of autotune.
Alright.
And I will say that even though I did like Lil Wayne in the song, I thought he worked well with the song in Welcome to My Nightmare. He still had that fucking line where he's like, "You think your shit don't stink, but you were Mrs. P.U."
God. Fucking Eminem or fucking Lil Wayne has poop jokes.
I don't know why he likes them so much.
God.
There's another song that I want to talk about because the song's so fucking weird, and it's the song RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop.
That song's so weird. Why is it called RoboCop? It's about a stalker, right?
Yeah.
And he makes a Misery reference in the song, and Misery's a better movie analogy.
Yeah, fucking random ass name. Maybe it was because there were so many electronic synthetics on this album that he was like, "Oh, I'm a man, and this album's all electronics. We call it RoboCop." I don't know.
I read on fucking Rap Genius that it's called RoboCop because the lady in question in the song was snooping around too much and trying to do detective work, but RoboCop wasn't really known for his detective work, so that still doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well played, Kanye West. Well played.
I think Heartbreak was a really good, I get some of the criticisms of Welcome to Heartbreak, which is like, it's Kanye West like, oh, feel sorry for me because I decided to make money and be rich instead of having a family. But I think it's more of a, what if I had made a family instead? What would that be like?
Uh-huh.
And I think that works very well. I really like Welcome to Heartbreak.
Yeah, Kid Cudi was on that, and I like me some Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi's great. Kid Cudi is on every Kanye West album from here on out.
Yeah, I think he is actually.
But Streetlights I think was pretty good. Passing time like Streetlights. It's not a super unique reference. It's a fairly cliche, but it's worked effectively here, I
never
think.
understood why fucking Kanye West and Mr. Hudson work so much together. That's just an unusual pair for me to like try and wrap my head around. Like, why Mr. Hudson?
I don't know who Mr. Hudson is.
That's okay.
Okay.
He's like English.
Oh, all right. My least
someone's
favorite...
probably gonna call me out and be like, "No, he's Australian or something." I don't know.
Is he Australian? I don't know. I think I read about him on the Rap Genius, but I completely forgot everything that I read.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite songs, according to this sheet of paper, because I don't remember these songs, which is probably why they're my least favorites, are Say You Will and Bad News.
Bad News was okay. I didn't really like, I actually didn't really like Paranoid, which had Mr. Hudson on it. That might have been too early when they worked together that I didn't like this. I didn't like what they were trying to experiment to do. I think Mr. Hudson's better for like his slower vocals than what they tried to do on the track.
I have no notes on Paranoid. I have no notes on most of the songs on the album. I think it's because the album kind of runs together for me, which is okay for what it's trying to do. Like, it's trying to just be an album that you throw on when you're going through a breakup and things are hard, and it just, it's like feel music, but like, it's not great for our purposes here. I can't really deconstruct this shit. It's just what it is.
To all of our viewers, March is the breakup month, so if you break up and feel bad, go listen to this album.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine for what it is. There's no songs that stick out as abnormally awful, and there's some songs that I think are really good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the most well-known songs off this that I remember are like Heartless, Love Lockdown. If you played RoboCop, I don't know if I would recognize it. I'd be like, what the fuck is funniest song is this?
I would recognize it just because it's so fucking weird, just because it's like the autotune, I don't want no RoboCop, and I'm like, why?
Being out of Macy's playing this, being like, I don't fucking get it.
I don't have a lot to say about this album. It's good. It's not like amazing, I don't think, and it's not. It's a good breakup album.
Yeah, that's about really all it is. It's got its singles on here, and they're always gonna be remembered. But I don't know. I think the thing about this album was that it was just so, like you said, it was so much autotune used in it that you just kind of listen to it, and you're right, it does just kind of flow from track to track, and then you're just kind of like, huh, that was an experience. None of those songs really left me scratching my head going, yeah, I think I need to listen to that again.
Yeah, and well, what happened? So, then we get, after, he follows up, Welcome to Heartbreak, 808s and Heartbreak, right?
Yep.
With My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Fucking love this album.
This album is one of his best, and this album's so, like, no two songs on this album are exactly alike.
Well, I think this album does what 808 Heartbreak but does it better. Like, every track kind of flows, but all the tracks are still different.
Yeah,
It's weird.
It also has
Your favorite song?
it has a couple of my favorite songs on it. But it's like this album is if College Dropout is Kanye West dealing with trying to make a name for himself and dealing with all the harsh realities of life, this is his album of Kanye West dealing with fame and dealing with all the new challenges that presents to him.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of funny because it has so many writers. Like, if you look at the Wikipedia page for all of like the writers and vocals he sampled, it's crazy. You know, he's got big hitters on here like Jay-Z. I don't know if you consider Rick Ross or Nicki Minaj a big hitter, but they are.
They weren't. Well, Rick Ross was, but Nicki Minaj was not at the time.
It's got Swiss Beats on here, like, you know, all like the well-known hip hop artists are on here, and that just plays in so well. It's like the fact you said that it's Kanye dealing with fame, and like these are all these musical geniuses that I now have to like rap alongside of it, which you didn't really see in his earlier albums. I mean, Jay-Z kinda, Kid Cudi.
But Jay-Z's all over this fucking album.
Yeah.
Actually, he's only in 2 songs. I don't know why I said all over, but he okay. Let's talk. This album starts with Dark Fantasy, which has a like storybook thing in the beginning, and then goes into Dark Fantasy has some of the best writing I've ever, like some of the most clever writing I've ever heard in a Kanye West song.
Yeah.
It has one of my favorite lines that the plan was to drink until the pain's over, but what's worse, the pain or the hangover?
Yeah. You ain't got no Yeezy, nigga.
You ain't got no fucking Yeezy. They sample that. They don't sample that, but they kind of homage that in a Tyler the Creator song.
Do they really? No.
Yeah, in the song Rella, Tyler the Creator says, "You ain't got no fucking Yeezy."
Gorgeous is on here with Kid Cudi and Raekwon. That's another fucking good song. It's got Power, which if you haven't heard Power yet, you live in the fucking dark, because
Gorgeous has a line about the fucking fish sticks joke from South Park. Like,
yeah,
he gets specific on this album.
Yeah, I don't know the line, but I know what you're talking about.
He said he's gonna choke the South Park writers with a fish stick.
Yeah. Power's got samples from Daft Punk if you haven't heard that song.
The thing about Power is Power has a really good beat, and it's a really good pump-up tune.
Wait, do I have that right?
I don't know if
No, I'm thinking of... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong song.
You're thinking of Stronger.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Stronger. My bad.
No, Power doesn't have samples of Daft Punk, but it's a really good, like, it's a forceful pump-up tune.
Yeah.
But it has some of my least favorite writing on the fucking album.
Well, that's one of the cases where the instrumentals kind of save...
The instrumentals totally save it. Like, it has that asshole flip line that you can kiss my whole ass, or more specifically, you can kiss my asshole. Which is kind of funny. He also has they said I was the abomination of Obama's nation, which is stereotypical as hell. I don't know if it was stereotypical at the time when this album came out, but it's definitely overplayed now.
When did this album come out? 2009?
2010.
So Obama had been in office for a couple of years already.
And my personal favorite line from this song, "I don't need your pussy, bitch. I'm on my own dick."
Yep. That's how... Like, that line immediately just... If you had to play one song for anyone, if you played this song, if they heard that line, I think you could already tell how big his ego was. Like, God.
So there's that song, and then there's, these are my notes for Yeezus. Okay, these are my notes for this album.
All the Lights is on here. It's got...
All the Lights is another good beat song that's kind of weird when you listen to the lyrics.
I think All of the Lights was... It's the song on here that was meant to be a single on the radio just because it had Rihanna on it. That's how I see it. It wasn't...
I know, but it's still like the lyrics are like Kanye West beats his girlfriend and goes to jail and then is like freaked out when he gets back and she doesn't want to be with him anymore.
Yeah, but again, pop culture doesn't always listen to lyrics, so it's for the radio, in my opinion.
Let's talk about Monster. I want to talk about Monster.
Jama Monster.
So Rick Ross starts this song off, and I hate Rick Ross, but he's only in it very briefly. Kanye puts on a pretty meh verse in Monster, like it's not great.
Uh-huh.
And Jay-Z doesn't do amazing on Monster, but he does have that... It's a collection of words that I really like when they go together, and they go together in a couple of songs, and that I rape and pillage your village.
Yeah. I actually, honestly, I like Nicki Minaj's part off the verse.
Nicki Minaj's verse is amazing on Monster. And that was the first time I'd ever heard Nicki Minaj.
That's a good verse to listen to if that's the first time you've heard her.
Well, no. I don't mean like for this. I mean when I first heard this song, it was the first time I'd ever heard Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Jesus. And Monster's like a big, I'm going to have a bunch of people in this song, and we're all going to lay down a verse, and it's going to be crazy, except for most people were pretty mediocre, except for Nicki Minaj.
I think Jay-Z's verse was too slow, and he was like, Sasquatch, Godzilla, Ghoul, Loch Ness.
Yeah, no, I had the same problem. But I think Jay-Z does really well on So Appalled, which was the other song where they did that.
Yeah.
I think Jay-Z definitely redeemed himself on So Appalled. And Pusha T was great on that song, too.
Oh, we'll get back to Pusha T in a couple minutes.
Oh, we will.
What else came on here? I don't remember So Appalled. It has Swizz Beatz, so I probably like the song, but I don't remember. I can't think of how it goes.
It's the one where he's like, throw your head, like, shit. It's got verses from fucking Pusha T and Jay-Z and Kanye West, and it's the one hand in the air if you don't really care, two hands in the air if you don't really care.
Not ringing a bell. You can talk about it.
I mean, I've already talked about, like, I love Jay-Z and Pusha T on this song, and no one else does bad. It's like, then it's followed up with the fucking, the song with Rick Ross, which I don't need to talk about.
I don't know if you dislike Rick Ross so much.
I can't
He does the thing.
deal with him, man. Like, Devil in the Dress has Kanye's verse, and it's weird because I can't really distinguish Kanye's verse from the hook in this song. Like, it all kind of flows together.
Oh, well.
And then there's, like, a really long, like, instrumental bridge leading up to Rick Ross, and I'm like, why? You're trying to fucking build fear? Are you trying to make me, like, nervous for Rick Ross's verse?
He's gonna lay some hot bars.
Like, that instrumental bridge felt like forever, because I was sitting there in fear of having to listen to Rick Ross verse.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, there's a couple other songs, but I don't really care to talk about them. I'd rather talk about the best song on here, which is Runaway.
Runaway is the longest song on this album, and I love every second of it.
I'd like to mention that after the whole, like, I'm gonna let you finish debacle with Taylor Swift at the VMAs, the VMAs. I think it was the year after. Yeah, it was the year after, or 2 years after. He came back, and at the end of the VMAs, he did this song. I was fucking blown away.
Dude, Runaway is so good. Every part of Runaway is good. Like, Kanye West doesn't say a lot in this song, but what he does say is amazing.
Go ahead and tell us your favorite line.
My favorite line ever that Kanye West has ever said is, found these pictures in my email, sent this bitch a picture of my dick. I don't know what it is with females, but I'm not too good at that shit.
Oh, man. Which is funny, because this is around the time when, like, you know, people started sending fucking dick pictures to girls, and then they were surprised when the girls were like, "Don't send us pictures of your dick."
It was so fucking funny. That's the way he starts his verse.
Yeah. and it doesn't give a shit.
Well, and it fits with the song, because the entire song is a toast to the douchebags, a toast to the assholes, right?
Again, that's fitting, because he was kind of all those things a year before, and here he is talking about it.
It relates to his own life, and the first verse relates to the fucking hook, because it's like, yeah, that's what douchebags do. They send unsolicited dick pics, right?
It's like, show me an artist that has that much self-reflection.
And fucking Pusha T fucking goes with the theme too. It's a great song.
Yeah. That was the first time I had heard Pusha T. I was like,
oh my god.
I sat there, I was like, fuck.
This Runaway might be my favorite song Kanye West has ever done on any album.
Yeah, it's up there. I'd have to look at all of his songs that I've heard, but because I really like Gold Digger, but Runaway is really fucking good. And he didn't use heavily, it didn't even use heavy autotune or anything.
No, it was great. It's a great song. For this album, I have my favorite songs are Dark Fantasy, Gorgeous, So Appalled, and Runaway.
Yeah, mine are Dark Fantasy, Gorgeous, Monster, and Runaway. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought Monster would have been better if everyone had come to the level of Nicki Minaj. Also, okay, I forgot to mention on Monster, Nicki Minaj says that no rapper can fuck with her except for herself and Kanye West. And she says that on a song where there were more rappers on the track than just her and Kanye West.
I didn't know that.
I love that. I love it so much.
That's almost like when Kendrick Lamar called everyone out on the Big Control verse, including Big Sean, which is his song.
And she and she has a line in that song where she's like, "Yeah, Kanye, me, you, and Kanye West's girlfriend at the time. I forgot her name, but it was not Kim Kardashian.
Amber Rose, probably.
Amber Rose, right? Me, you, and Amber can have a fucking menage a trois."
Yeah. Yep.
That's so good. Holy shit.
Yeah, I like Monster. I less that I enjoyed Rick Ross and Jay-Z's verses, but I still enjoyed them.
Well, I didn't like Rick Ross's, but everyone else was okay.
You joker.
And there's one other song on this album that I actually have notes on, and that's Blame Game, which has this weird Chris Rock outlude outro.
John Legend.
Yeah, John Legend is on the song.
Yeah, okay.
And the Chris Rock outro has some funny lines in it, but they have this sample of this girl's voice every time Chris Rock's like, "Oh, you fucking give such good head," whatever. He's like, "Yeezy taught me," and it really creeps me out every time. It's Yeezy taught me, and I'm like, don't say that in that fashion.
I guess all I really have left to say about this album is that this is the album you get when a producer who's good at rapping puts together when everything about production and music comes together perfectly. That's what this album is. This
is the album. Even though College Dropout's still my favorite Kanye West album, if someone were to ask me, "Hey, Forrest, I'm new to Kanye West. What album should I get?" I'd say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah, it's a really high note in his career, and I'm glad that it exists.
Absolutely.
So all right, with that, are we gonna transition over into Eminem?
Yeah, let's.
I just imagine this podcast is gonna be a roller coaster because we just had a high note being like Dark Fantasy so good, and then an immediate drop down in the fucking pits of hell.
It's like Eminem's career.
Hold on, let me have a moment of silence real quick.
Okay.
Take a couple deep breaths.
I want to introduce this next segment, the next two albums. We should put timestamps. If you can do that, put a timestamp in the video that's skip to, and then put the time when we start talking about the next two Kanye West albums.
Okay.
In case anyone wants to skip past the Eminem parts or whatever.
Okay.
Because warning, especially for this one, Kanye West, or not Kanye West, Eminem talks about some vile shit in the next two albums.
Just me sighing.
And we're probably gonna mention fucking things about rape, murder, just
the usual.
all kinds of shit, but it's even worse in Relapse, especially.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to
God, I don't even... Okay, so up first is Encore, which is considered by many to be his worst album. I don't know how to start this, I'll be completely honest.
So, after the Eminem show, which if you remember, we actually liked the Eminem show quite a bit. This album came out 2 years later, I think.
Usually.
Yeah, 2 years later.
Came out in 2004.
Not too bad for release. And
It's awful.
you know how Eminem is on drugs. It very clearly shows in this album.
You know,
really,
there were a couple songs I'm okay with, which is kind of hard to say when there's 20 songs on this album.
do you want to do the best songs?
Okay, sure. You can start.
My best songs on this album are Never Enough, Spend Some Time, and Like Toy Soldiers.
Okay. My favorite songs on here are Like Toy Soldiers. I have mixed feelings about that one though. Just Lose It, and I have mixed feelings again with Mockingbird, but
I also have mixed feelings on Mockingbird. I have mixed feelings on Mockingbird and Encore.
yeah. The funny thing about Like Toy Soldiers is that I actually used to like that song a lot until we did our previous podcast, and it was funny because I Like Toy Soldiers is kind of like it's weird because it's kind of like an excuse. I did all these things, but then the rest of the album talks about like you said, rape, murder, and shit. And I'm like, but wait, Eminem, didn't you just talk about pistol whipping a guy 2 years ago?
Well,
You're saying that's not your fault?
I felt like Toy Soldiers was more him, kind of, because he gets brought into this beef with Ja Rule, because of 50 Cent.
If you're too young enough to know who Ja Rule is, that's okay.
I don't think there's any. I think it's a pretty definitive age range of people that listen to our podcast. But
Hey, gotta be sure.
Ja Rule. I don't know. You don't need an introduction to Ja Rule. Just Ja Rule and 50 Cent had beef. Eminem got brought into the beef. I don't know that much about fucking Ja Rule. I just know he made some shitty songs back in the early 2000s.
Oh, this is a man we're talking about. Another human being. Yeah, there was that beef.
And Eminem started freaking out because he was finally part of an actual rap beef, like a Biggie fucking Tupac rap beef, where people were fighting for them. And he's like, I don't want that. That sucks.
Yeah, people get shot and murdered.
And, okay, so
It
let's
still
talk.
sounds a little whiny to me. That's my only problem.
It's a little bit whiny. No, you're right. While we're at it, let's just talk about some of the positives of this album. Never Enough, I think, is good. I think that Eminem does well on that song. I think Nate Dogg is amazing on that song.
I feel the exact opposite. I feel like Nate Dogg tried to save the song, and he didn't really do a very good job at that because
Really?
50 Cent didn't do very well. Yeah, I didn't like that.
I thought 50 Cent actually did better on Never Enough than I've heard him do on anything else.
That could just be my personal bias because I really don't like 50 Cent, so don't listen to me.
I don't like 50 Cent either, but I think that on that song, I don't know. I don't think he did that poorly. I think that he kept up all right.
Kept up. Has he got shot yet?
50 Cent?
Yeah.
At this point, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I do not know enough about the timeline of 50 Cent.
This might be kind of fucked up. You said 50 Cent could keep up, and I was like, yeah, if his lips will let him.
Oh, that's not necessary.
I'm sorry. Let's trash talk Eminem. We can leave 50 Cent alone.
And spend some time. Okay. I have some of the same issues with Spend Some Time that I have with Superman, where it's very slow and very lets the misogyny sink in.
Yeah, that's hard on it.
I think that if it was on a different album, I wouldn't like it as much. But because it's on this album, I'm like, well, it's very misogynistic and it's very slow and lets the misogyny sink in. But at least the hook is good.
That's because your fucking standards are set so low. That's why. If it was on like Recovery, this would be on the fucking bottom of in the trash bin. And
let's just say that the hook sets you up for a more interesting song than you get.
Yeah.
Even Eminem's part of the hook where he's like, I never thought I'd find someone to be mine. Lord knows I was right, because you just crossed the line. And I'm like, how? How did she cross the line? That's crazy. She crossed your line, and then it's just Eminem not really delivering on that. But,
yeah.
Hey, my standards were set low enough that it became one of my favorite songs of the album.
I still do enjoy Just Lose It and Ass Like That. I probably shouldn't like Ass Like That, just because...
I really don't like Ass Like That or Just Lose It. In fact, I actively refused to listen to Ass Like That when I was listening to the album.
I don't know, they just... Again, my standards were low, and those weren't as awful.
I just want to say, this album's so terrible. It's so bad that there's a song on this album called Big Weenie, and that's not even the worst song on the album.
Are we getting to the lows, or are we still talking about the quote-unquote high points? Do you want to talk about Mockingbird?
High points?
Mockingbird?
I don't know. Mockingbird's yeah, okay. Mockingbird's okay. I don't hate Mockingbird.
Mockingbird is one of the songs I have mixed feelings about, and I don't actively hate. If we're being honest,
I wish he didn't sing the entire thing. It's not that endearing, and he doesn't say anything very interesting on it.
I think the fact that just Haley is on it is why I like it, because
he gets more emotional talking about Haley than does anything, but he doesn't even get emotional in this song. Like, he shows no emotion.
Yeah. He tried, but which is weird because he usually has a lot of emotion, and he's usually really clever when it comes to song with Haley. More of like his family members. He's usually way more clever, and that might be the problem with it.
But whatever. Mockingbird's a mediocre song on a terrible album. So
yeah, that's all right. And this is when we start to spiral out of control.
So the song Big Weenie, this song is called Big Weenie. And it's a diss track about a dude that made him a negative review in a magazine.
So he calls him a big weenie.
And it has the so clever line, you look like I sound like singing about weenies.
This is Eminem, who is a lyrical genius, and he calls someone a big weenie. That's not even clever, if it's a joke, if it's meant to be taken as a joke. That's not even funny.
But here's the fucking thing: this isn't the worst song on the album.
No, it's not.
There are at least 2 songs on this album that are worse than this song.
Do you have any notes on Mosh? What'd you think of Mosh?
I thought Mosh was trying to be White America, but wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, I think it was a little too slow. And that's what makes White America so upbeat, is that he's shouting about it.
Yeah.
There was also a Osama bin Laden reference on that song. I don't have the lyrics, but I heard it and I was like, all right, this is where we're at. This is where we're at in history.
I'd say there are at least 3 songs. I said 2, but there are at least 3 songs on this album that are worse than Big Weenie, and those songs are Evil Deeds, Rain Man, and fucking My First Single.
Oh, I thought you didn't like Puke.
I don't like Puke. I think Puke's slightly better than Big Weenie.
What? No, who wants to listen to us about instrumentals of a guy? Not instrumentals, but who wants to listen to a guy throw up? I hate Puke.
Puke's a terrible fucking song, and he's got that shit, right? It's a fucking horrible song. It has puking noises in the goddamn hook, but I still think Big Weenie is dumber.
All right, That's the way you see it. I'd rather be angry at a song than disgusted, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's okay, this album starts out with Evil Deeds.
Yay.
This Evil Deeds immediately let you knew that you were in for a colossal heap of shit.
It was just a bunch of fucking whining.
Well, and Evil Deeds was just the first verse of Evil Deeds had like the same would have half a verse, and then the second half of the verse was just repeating the last word of that last half.
I hate that. I hate when artists do that. It's like
you could verses,
fill that in.
He could have. But he was fucking on a shitload of goddamn drugs at the time, and then he's got that. Then the second verse starts out with him saying the word predominantly about 50 times, and then complaining about other people saying the word predominantly.
He predominantly said that word too much.
That's the one where I just, my note for Evil Deeds just says predominantly in quotes, and then it just says fucking fuck fucking fuck.
Those are good. Those are good notes. Those are way better notes than earlier. My notes for Evil Deeds is just, it's whiny.
And how he forgot how to rap. How did he forget how to rap?
Drugs.
And then there's my second least favorite song. That's my third least favorite song. My second least favorite song on the fucking album is fucking Rain Man.
Yeah, that song was fucking shitty.
In which he, is Rain Man the one where he has the jokes about finding fucking... No. Rain Man's the one where he has the shit noises in your ear.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Now I remember.
And then Rain Man's also the one where he's like, pity me, for I am oppressed.
Hold on, I'm looking at the lyrics real quick, because I didn't remember this song. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. It's not because it's trying to, invoke Rain Man, like the movie about the autistic guy, right? And it's trying to be, I'm offensive, I'm Eminem, I'm making jokes about autism, but it's not even offensive. It's nothing. It's just sucks. It just sucks.
He also has that, bit with, he imitates Dr. Dre.
Yeah, why? You know Dr. Dre.
Yeah, why did he... Were you, in the booth recording Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre's, sitting there yeah, that's good, Em. It's just get Eminem to walk 5 steps and do that part. You don't need to go, hey, hey, Dre, yeah. And Dre's just that's not a very good impression of me.
And then my least favorite song on this album, the absolute bane of my fucking existence on this album is my first single. I hate my first single. The beat of my first single sounds like it's just made by click clackers, those fucking things that you give people at sporting events. They
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The beat just sounds like it's made by those, right? And he has half a verse of this song devoted to telling this fake story about finding kiddie porn of Justin Timberlake and fucking Britney Spears. Nothing. There's nothing redeeming about that song. There's nothing redeeming about any of these songs that I've just mentioned.
He also made an OJ reference. He says, as long as I got Dr. Dre and my team, I'll get away with murder. I'm like OJ. He's my Koran today. It's dude. It's maybe that'd be kind of okay if this album wasn't shit, but you're just digging yourself a bigger grave.
Another song,
burping and farting,
all over this fucking album. Why did he have the shit sounds right in the hook of fucking Rain Man?
Maybe he thought the shit sounds would make the album sound better.
Another song that I have really huge fucking issues with, isn't quite one. I mean, it is one of my least favorite songs on the album, but it's not as bad as the ones I just mentioned. But I have really big issues with it. It's fucking Yellow Brick Road.
I don't remember. I remember listening to it, but I can't remember how that song goes.
Okay, Yellow Brick Road. There's a little bit of a story behind this. Source Magazine found a fucking mixtape of Eminem being fucking racist as shit because some black girl broke up with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Yellow Brick Road is his apology about that, where he's like, I'm sorry, I singled out a whole race. But he fucking prefaces that, or after that line, he says, it was wrong. I singled out a whole race, and no matter what race a woman is, she's still a whole. That's the fucking line.
That's so misogynistic. Oh my god.
Awful. It's terrible. It's a terrible fucking song, and it's also it's not even an apology. It's not even him saying I'm sorry for this. It's him saying this happened, and this is why you shouldn't think it's a big deal. And then at the end he apologizes for this one thing, but fucking makes it worse in another front. And then, there's Crazy in Love, which he sings the entire song, which is fucking ill-advised.
No, yeah, he shouldn't be doing that.
He shouldn't sing entire songs. Haley's song is the last time that worked for him.
Yeah. And that was okay.
Crazy in Love, I found myself cheering every time we got back to the Crazy on You sample, because I didn't have to listen to Eminem anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know that was what that sample was. I was like, oh, I know this song.
Yeah. And there's a D12 song on this. I don't even have any fucking notes on it except for bizarre. I just wrote the word bizarre.
My notes on that is nothing because I didn't care about it.
Bizarre is terrible. I hate bizarre. So... And I assume that this isn't the song where I was like, actually, this is a great fucking example of bizarre doing very lyrical. God, I can't. This album is awful. This album is terrible. Why did he think this album was a good idea?
I think it's weird. I'm looking at the reviews it got. It got a 7 out of 10 on MEE. Entertainment Weekly gave it a C-. Rolling Stones gave it 4 stars, which I call horseshit on. He was probably on the cover of that month's issue, so I call horseshit on that.
I have complicated relationships with some of Eminem's albums where I've gone through phases of liking them and phases of not liking them. This is the only album he's ever released where he released it and I hated it, and I still hate it.
Oh, what was that thing where he mentioned Michael Jackson? What was that
That's
about?
on Just Lose It. I don't know why he mentioned... Probably because Michael Jackson was an easy target at the time.
I don't remember.
There's no reason...
I found that really weird in this sketch. I was like, Michael Jackson, what the fuck?
There's no reason for anything on this fucking album.
So if you're just now listening to this, never listen to it. That's my advice.
Yeah, don't listen to fucking Encore. Maybe check out the songs that we said are better. Maybe I guess Michael disagrees.
Very loose quotes are better.
I mean, even those songs, the only ones that I definitively say no, I wouldn't say any of them are definitively good. Like Toy Soldiers is the closest thing to definitively good this album has.
Yeah, and that's because he wasn't being blunt offensive. It was just kind of just gray.
Yeah, but fucking. All of these other songs that I have on my list and that Michael has on his list are arguable at best.
Yeah, even though we have songs we like and don't like on our each other's lists, I mean, we have different opinions, obviously. So if you like one of our opinions is, you can listen to the song and judge for yourself. But I'm sorry, I hate this album.
This album's terrible. Let's move on to fucking Relapse.
Oh, it gets so much better! Oh, the improvement in quality! I'm going to tell you right now, I tried to listen to the deluxe album edition, because I was like, alright, I'm in for the awful. I got to Crack a Bottle and stopped.
Okay.
That's where I drew the line. I said, no more.
Crack a Bottle is one of the worst fucking songs on this album.
I like it because it's catchy, and that's as much as I can say about
it. Crack a Bottle. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I wanted to introduce this, but I just want to say Crack a Bottle is it's Eminem being lazy. Eminem lazy writing, Dr. Dre being lazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then 50 Cent struggling to keep up with them being lazy.
You really emphasize the struggling in that.
No, it's Like, why? I've heard 50 Cent. I've only ever heard 50 Cent do good on the song. The only time I've ever heard 50 Cent deliver a good verse, not an acceptable verse, not a fucking. It's not the worst verse. A fucking good verse is on the song "Hate It or Love It" by The Game. I highly suggest listening to that song. Better than anything on this fucking album. So, a little introduction to Relapse. This album came out when I was 15 years old.
Yes.
I liked it when I was 15 years old.
I thought you hated it. No, wait, you did like it. Yeah, okay. I hated it. Yeah, and I still do.
Yeah. I liked this album when I was 15 years old. I still didn't think it was great, but maybe it's just because Encore was so terrible that I liked this album. I listened to this album quite a bit for a week, and then I stopped.
Dude, that's because, again, your standards were so low from Encore.
They were really low.
When did this come out? 2009?
2009.
2009.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that between Encore and this album was a fucking 5-year gap.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, well, Eminem got Detox while Eminem was getting off of drugs.
Yeah, Relapse.
And then he made the album Relapse, and it's an appropriate title for a name because it's just him relapsing back into the same shit he was doing on Encore.
Maybe that's the cleverness in it. No.
Maybe that was his plan the entire time. The album sounds like him emulating bad horrorcore rappers.
So Insane Clown Posse.
Okay. So we start out with 3 a.m., which is not that bad of, it's not great, but it's not a terrible song.
Yeah.
3 a.m. is one of the better fake horrorcore bullshit songs on this album.
So I guess I only had a couple notes on Relapse. I don't know if that's because after 3 a.m. with my mom, I stopped giving a shit. I remember the songs that I quote unquote liked, but I don't have a lot of notes on Relapse. I'm sorry.
Well, my mom's a bad song. It's a terrible song. But it has this line, and this is how desperate I was to find something interesting in this album. They have a line in this where it's like, take a white crayon and color a fucking zebra, right? And I was like, oh, maybe that's a clever reference to him being a dark horse. He's taking a white crayon and trying to clean himself up by becoming a zebra instead of a dark horse. Looked it up? No. It has nothing to do with that. It's literally just a fucking filler line.
Oh, well. That's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Did you listen to the deluxe album, or did you just listen to the regular album?
Okay, I went in with the intent of listening to the deluxe album.
Okay, see, we both have the same intentions. That's nice.
The regular album was 20 fucking songs long.
Hmm?
And then after the 20 songs, I was like, no. And I looked up on Rap Genius what the original album was, the original special edition album, not the refill edition.
Uh-huh.
And the original special edition of the album only had 2 other songs on it. So I listened to those 2 other songs, and I was like, I did it. I listened to the deluxe album.
I couldn't do it. It was too much.
Fucking what else is there? There's fucking Insane. That's a terrible song.
Nope. Yeah. There's We Made You. His first. I think that was his first single.
I don't even like that song.
I Like You just because of the music video and how many fucking pop culture references I had in there. Kim Kardashian.
You didn't finish this album?
No.
Okay, so...
Like I said, I gave up after Crack the Bottle.
My favorite songs on this album... My favorite songs on this album are... okay, so Same Song and Dance was a song that I actually liked. Because it is a song that I understand why it would make people uncomfortable. It makes me kind of uncomfortable, but it's a song about him kidnapping and raping women.
Yeah, and he like
Probably killing.
Was that the one like the audio of like him like luring a girl?
Okay, let's not talk about that skit. The Tanya skit.
Okay.
The Tanya skit's fucked up, and I don't want any part of the Tanya skit. Tanya skit.
Oh, go ahead.
The Tanya skit, for those that don't know, the lucky people that don't fucking know, the Tanya skit is a skit of a girl. It's an actual girl. Like, it's not just Eminem playing a girl. It's an actual girl getting attacked in a fucking car.
Yeah. I was doing other things on my laptop as I had the music playing off my speakers, and it got to the skit, and I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And then it got like halfway through, and I got very, very uncomfortable. It's not,
obviously it's not funny, but it's also not in any way clever or needed.
No.
It's supposed to introduce Same Song and Dance, which is fine. The song didn't even have a fucking introduction.
Yeah, it was just an unuseful skit that makes people uncomfortable.
It's really gross. Really fucking gross.
Yeah.
Same Song and Dance I do kind of like because it's one of the few songs where it's actually creepy. Like it's not like I'm trying too hard to be offensive. It's actually like it actually sounds like a good horrorcore song as opposed to a fucking bullshit horrorcore song.
So I'm kind of sad there's no Royce to 5'9" on this. That's all I'm gonna say. The rest about this album. You can talk for the next 10 minutes.
All right. I have a lot to say about this fucking album. I don't okay.
I think the song I liked on here the most was probably Beautiful, which...
Really? I didn't like that song.
I don't know. I think the slow melody and the slow beat actually worked.
I thought it was so out of place that I couldn't deal with it.
That's fair.
I like Deja Vu better, actually.
Okay.
Which is actually the song about him relapsing, which is the name of the fucking album.
Wouldn't you want to maybe you should have put that song first and not 3 a.m.?
Maybe you should have fucking switched out this entire album with songs as good as that.
Yeah. Which is funny, like, Encore and Relapse have such large track listings. It's weird to think that now Eminem, he goes through a lot of different samples of music. I think for the Marshall Mathers LP2, he had thrown away like 100 different beats. And then you look at Encore and you're like, these all sound like a bunch of 3-year-olds were messing with equipment, and they just went with it.
See, what else do we have? We have Hello, which is just nothing.
No, zero.
Like, Hello's just nothing. It's not... I don't remember anything from that fucking song. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Shady. So nice to meet you. I don't remember nothing else.
I thought Old Time's Sake was going to be better just because I was still hopeful that Dr. J would sound good on a song.
Bagpipes from Baghdad, he did the fucking racist Middle Eastern accent.
That's right. That's right.
Same Song and Dance is the only one that had anything resembling a clever metaphor where it's like the song and dance is the fucking murder. Yeah. I get it. I thought that was semi-clever. It was more clever than fucking Medicine Ball.
What? Medicine Ball? That's my all-time favorite.
It's nobody's favorite. You need to stop lying right now.
I know.
Medicine Ball. Do I have any fucking notes on Medicine Ball? No, I didn't even care.
No, I didn't even care.
Now it's time for me to hate, or for you to hate me again is a fucking a song. Now it's time for you to hate me again, or whatever, is a line on fucking Medicine Ball, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You get to that line and you just stop listening.
And my personal least favorite song on this fucking album, Stay Wide Awake.
I don't remember that song.
Oh, well, Stay Wide Awake starts out promising. It starts out as soon as my flow starts, I compose art like the ghost of Mozart. And I'm like, that's not a bad line. And, maybe this will be good. And then he goes from that to more fucking references of being a fucking serial rapist. And it's a song where he talks about fucking raping someone with an umbrella and then opening it up inside of them.
Yeah, that's not visually appealing. I don't know. My least favorite song was Old Time's Sake. Because it's like,
Old Time's Sake.
with Dr. Dre, it's like, oh, this is maybe, when artists kind of have that, like, that rebound, and they try and, like, improve themselves. Kind of like what Kanye did after the whole, like, Taylor Swift thing, he had his rebound with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's what kind of Old Time's Sake reminded me. It's like, oh, this is going to be maybe the last song they do together.
Yeah.
No, that didn't happen.
But also, into the Stay Wide Awake. Stay Wide Awake, the fucking song. The song, the fucking fuck. He has this part, right, where he goes he goes and he plays the character of a rapist and the person that's being attacked. But he doesn't change his voice at all for either character.
Which is kind of what he's known for.
One bit. No, he usually changes his voice a little bit so you know when he's playing two different characters and it's not just a fucking mess. Oh my god, I hate this album. I fucking hate this album.
When did you start? When did you, like... You said it was like a week after you listened to it, you started hating it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a turnaround.
God, I have more to say. Fucking Encore, or Underground. Underground is another song that I hated less because he doesn't do his fucking accent on that song, at least.
Yeah.
This is after you stop listening. Also, Underground has 2 lines that I laughed at, and that's more than any other song on this album.
Huh.
These are the only 2 lines that I laughed at in the entire album, and I don't know whether my standards were just set so low that I was fucking gonna laugh at anything.
You just hit bedrock, man. You just hit fucking bedrock.
Or if these lines were I know they're not actually funny, but they were jarring enough that I laughed. Like, fuck Jason, it's Friday the 19th. That means it's just a regular day, was one of the lines.
Okay, that's pretty
And
good.
I also laughed at, cut your head off and ask where you're headed off to. Get it? Headed off to. Medic, this headache's awful.
Jesus Christ.
I laughed at that line, and I still don't know if these lines were funny.
I think your stands are just too low.
Also, I'd like to mention Underground ends with our good friend Ken fucking Niff.
Did you really have to bring that up? I tried to avoid that the entire fucking time we talked about Relapse. And there you go fucking ruining it. It wouldn't be fucking complete if we had a fucking Ken Knapp reference.
Well, he wasn't on Encore, which was the only redeeming thing about Encore.
Man, if Ken Knapp was on Encore, I don't think I would have said anything.
Also, on one of the bonus songs... Well, one of the bonus songs on the deluxe edition is Forever, and I know you actually like that song.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not... I guess that did come out in 2009, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that does have one of my favorite Eminem verses. That actually might be my favorite Eminem verse.
It's a good song. I really like Drake on that song, too.
That's weird for you to say.
Yeah. Well,
Funny because we were talking about Drake last night, and this is a little off topic, but I was listening to Drake's new mixtape, and I texted you, and I was like, "Fun fact: you don't need to listen to this. It's not good."
I don't hate Drake, but I don't like that new mixtape. But I don't hate Drake.
Yeah. All right.
Well, there's one more line that I want to bring up, and it's in "Careful What You Wish For." And in that line, or in "Careful What You Wish For," which is one of the bonus songs, it's the last bonus song on the album. And in that line, or in that song, he has the line where he says that Encore, not enough time has passed since Encore was released. That's why people hate it. And then he compares Encore to the album Illmatic by Nas.
I don't want to talk about Relapse anymore. I'm getting depressed.
Should we take a break? Before we go into
why do these albums exist? I haven't heard Lift Off. I'll talk about the ones I've listened to then, or I've heard.
What the fuck was Lift Off? Which one was Lift Off?
I don't know.
I don't think I even... Oh, wait. Do I even have any fucking notes on the song Lift Off? I think I just put liftoff is okay. So
Liftoff is okay. Aren't you like a journalist?
it was hard.
It was hard.
It was hard to think of stuff for all the songs.